But I want to bring you something different today. I want to take you to a small state in India's northeast. The state of Manipur borders Myanmar and has a little more than 3 million people. Over the last 3 months, it has been the site of deadly ethnic violence between the state's two largest groups, the majority Meitei and the minority Kuki. But since May, tens of thousands of Manipuris have been displaced. Churches and temples have been destroyed, and India's Prime Minister Narendra Modi stayed silent until a shocking video emerged last month of two Kuki women paraded naked by Meitei men. Sushant, this begs the question. The scenes Barkha is portraying seem so vivid. They almost sound like a civil war. How did we get here?
So essentially, the trigger for the current crisis was a judgment by the Manipur High Court, where it asked the state government to grant reservations in jobs and educational institutions to the Meitei community. This, caused anguish and anger among the minority community, which is the Kuki community and the Nagas. They brought out some kind of protest, and in response to that protest, the Meitei community, unleashed what I would call is a torrent of violence against the Kuki community. And this was clearly supported by the state's chief minister and the state police force. And the first few days in May, that is the 3rd, 4th, 5th May, the violence was really, very high intensity, and a large number of people were killed, large number of people were rendered homeless. People chose to go to Myanmar from Manipur to find refuge, to find a safe place to stay. And the reasons for the crisis, of course, that this was the trigger, but the reasons for the crisis lie in a narrative which has been created where the Meitei community has come to believe that they are the original inhabitants of the land, and the Kukis are essentially interlopers, people who have come from foreign countries, from Myanmar, who are not Indian enough. And this has to do with the pressure on land. 54% of the population of the state is Meitei. They live in 10% of land mass. 18 to 20% of Kuki population, lives in forested areas, which is much larger. But these areas are protected by India's constitution, where other non-tribal communities like the Meitei cannot go and buy those lands. So essentially, it's a question of identity. It's a question of sons of the soil. It's a question of pressure over land. It's a question of government jobs. And all that narrative has come together and created a situation where things have just blown up around 100 days back.